Did you know that over 500 million pounds of onions are consumed each year in the United States alone? But hidden behind this staggering number is a shocking truth. Many of us are eating onions all wrong, putting our health at serious risk. Today, we're diving into a topic that might just change the way you view this common kitchen staple. We're uncovering the 15 fatal mistakes when eating onions, what nobody tells you. From the seemingly harmless act of chopping onions ahead of time to ignoring critical signs of allergies, these everyday errors are not only surprising but could also have life-threatening consequences. Imagine suffering severe health issues just from mishandling or misusing onions. It's time to peel back the layers of misconception and uncover the real risks hidden in each bite. Stay with us as we guide you through the common pitfalls to ensure your onion consumption is safe, healthy, and beneficial. Don't let these silent dangers lurk in your kitchen any longer. Number 1. Eating unwashed onions. Eating unwashed onions can expose you to a range of harmful contaminants that linger on their outer layers. When onions are grown, they absorb chemicals and pesticides used in agriculture to boost crop yields and prevent pest infestations. These substances, while beneficial for farming, can be harmful if ingested, potentially leading to health issues such as digestive distress, allergic reactions, and long-term toxicity. Moreover, onions are often exposed to various bacteria and pathogens present in the soil, which can cling to their skin. Additionally, unwashed onions might carry residual dirt and debris from the field. Consuming these contaminants can increase the risk of foodborne illnesses, which can manifest as symptoms like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and severe abdominal cramps. To safeguard your health, it's crucial to wash onions thoroughly under running water before use. Peeling off the outermost layers further minimizes the risk of ingesting harmful residues. This simple but essential step ensures that you enjoy the health benefits of onions without the unwanted side effects of contaminants. Number 2. Consuming large quantities raw. Consuming large quantities of raw onions can lead to gastrointestinal distress, a concern that stems from the onion's natural composition. Raw onions contain high levels of dietary fiber and sulfur compounds, both of which offer health benefits in moderate amounts. However, when consumed in excess, these components can have adverse effects. The fiber in onions, while beneficial for digestion, can cause bloating, gas, and cramping if eaten in large amounts, especially for those not accustomed to high-fiber diets. Moreover, the sulfur compounds that give onions their characteristic pungency and bite can irritate the digestive tract. These compounds, when broken down in the stomach, can produce gas and cause discomfort or even pain. For some individuals, especially those with sensitive stomachs or conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, these effects can be more pronounced. To mitigate these potential issues, it is advisable to limit the consumption of raw onions. Cooking onions can significantly reduce their harshness and fiber content, making them easier on the stomach while still providing their nutritional benefits. Sautéing, boiling, or baking onions helps break down both fiber and sulfur compounds, rendering them less likely to cause digestive distress. Number 3. Storing onions with potatoes. Storing onions with potatoes is a common mistake that can lead to premature spoilage of both vegetables. This issue arises from the interaction between the moisture released by potatoes and the ethylene gas produced by onions. Potatoes naturally emit moisture as they age, which can create a damp environment conducive to mold and decay. Onions, on the other hand, are ethylene producers. Ethylene is a natural plant hormone that accelerates ripening and, in the case of onions, can lead to faster deterioration when stored in close proximity to moisture-sensitive foods like potatoes. This ethylene-moisture interaction can not only speed up the aging process of both onions and potatoes, but also increase the likelihood of sprouting and the development of soft spots or rot. The presence of moisture can also encourage the growth of fungi and bacteria, further reducing the shelf life and quality of both onions and potatoes. To avoid these issues and maximize the storage life of these staples, it's best to store onions and potatoes separately. Ideally, onions should be kept in a cool, dry, well-ventilated area away from potatoes. This separation helps maintain the integrity of each vegetable, keeping them fresh and usable for longer. Number 4. Ignoring onion allergies. Ignoring onion allergies can lead to uncomfortable and potentially severe symptoms. While not as common as other food allergies, an allergy to onions can manifest in several ways. The symptoms typically involve itching and redness, which can occur around the mouth or, in more severe cases, across different parts of the body. This is a result of the immune system reacting to certain proteins found in onions, perceiving them as harmful invaders. Digestive issues are another common symptom of onion allergies. These can include stomach pain, gas, bloating, and diarrhea. In some individuals, the reaction might also trigger nausea or vomiting. These gastrointestinal symptoms occur because the body attempts to expel the allergen quickly. For anyone who suspects they might be allergic to onions, it's crucial to consult with a healthcare provider. An allergist can perform tests to confirm the allergy and provide guidance on managing symptoms. If an onion allergy is diagnosed, the simplest and most effective management strategy is to avoid consuming onions. Reading food labels and inquiring about ingredients in prepared foods becomes essential to avoid accidental ingestion, which could trigger an allergic reaction. Number 5. Using sprouted onions. Using sprouted onions in your cooking can pose potential health risks and may not be as beneficial as you might think. When onions begin to sprout, their nutritional profile changes. The process of sprouting involves the onion using its own stored nutrients to grow new shoots. As a result, sprouted onions may have decreased levels of essential nutrients such as vitamins and minerals, which are redirected to support the growth of the sprouts. Additionally, the sprouting process can increase the risk of bacterial growth. The structural changes that occur in an onion once it starts to sprout can create opportunities for bacteria to enter and proliferate. Commonly, bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli, which are associated with foodborne illnesses, can find a favorable environment in sprouted onions. The dampness and cracks that often accompany sprouting can further facilitate bacterial entry and growth. For these reasons, it is safer to use fresh onions and discard any that have begun to sprout. Consuming fresh onions ensures that you are getting the maximum nutritional benefit and minimizes the risk of ingesting potentially harmful bacteria. If you notice an onion starting to sprout, it's best to consider it past its prime and replace it with a fresher alternative. Number 6. Eating onions from buffets. Eating onions from buffets presents significant health risks, primarily due to the issues of cross-contamination and bacterial growth. Onions at buffets are typically left out for long periods at room temperature, creating an ideal environment for bacteria to thrive. Pathogens such as Salmonella and E. coli, which are commonly associated with foodborne illnesses, can multiply rapidly in these conditions. The risk of cross-contamination is also heightened in buffet settings. Utensils used for different foods might be inadvertently used for onions, or onions may come into contact with other contaminated surfaces or ingredients. This cross-contact can introduce various pathogens to the onions. Additionally, many people handling the same serving tools without proper hygiene practices can further spread bacteria. To avoid these health risks, it is advisable to be cautious about consuming onions from open, unrefrigerated buffets. If the onions or the buffet area do not seem well maintained, or if the onions have been sitting out for an extended period, it's safer to skip them. Opting for freshly prepared dishes or items served at controlled temperatures can significantly reduce the risk of foodborne illnesses. Number 7. Overheating onions. Overheating onions during cooking can lead to the breakdown of their beneficial nutrients, reducing their health value. Onions are rich in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, which contribute to various health benefits, such as enhancing the immune system and reducing the risk of chronic diseases. However, these nutrients, particularly delicate compounds like vitamin C and certain flavonoids, are sensitive to heat. When onions are cooked at excessively high temperatures, the intense heat can cause the decomposition of these vital nutrients. For example, prolonged exposure to high heat can significantly reduce the levels of quercetin, a key antioxidant found in onions that has anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer properties. Similarly, essential vitamins that are heat-sensitive may degrade, diminishing the nutritional profile of the onions. To maximize the nutritional benefits of onions, it is advisable to cook them at moderate temperatures. Methods such as sautéing, steaming, or baking at lower temperatures can help preserve their vitamins and antioxidants. Additionally, incorporating onions into dishes toward the end of cooking can minimize nutrient loss, ensuring that more of their health-promoting properties are retained in the final meal. Number 8. Not checking for molds. Consuming moldy onions can pose significant health risks due to the potential presence of mycotoxins, which are toxic substances produced by certain types of mold. When onions begin to mold, it's not just the visible mold that's a concern. The mold can also penetrate deeper into the onion, affecting parts that might not look visibly compromised. Mycotoxins are particularly hazardous because they can withstand high temperatures, meaning that cooking may not effectively neutralize them. The ingestion of mycotoxins can lead to a variety of health issues, ranging from acute poisoning, which can manifest as nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, to more severe long-term effects such as immune suppression and increased cancer risk. Additionally, moldy onions can harbor other harmful bacteria that might have proliferated alongside the mold. To protect yourself from these risks, it's crucial to inspect onions thoroughly before use. Look for any signs of mold, such as fuzzy growths, dark spots, or a musty smell. If an onion shows any signs of mold, it is safest to discard it entirely, as the contamination could be more extensive than it appears. Storing onions in a dry, well-ventilated area can also help prevent mold growth by reducing moisture around the onions. Number 9. Ignoring organic varieties. Choosing organic onions over conventionally grown varieties can significantly reduce your exposure to pesticides, which are frequently used in traditional agriculture to control pests and diseases. Organic onions are grown according to strict guidelines that minimize or eliminate the use of synthetic pesticides and fertilizers. These guidelines not only support healthier eating habits but also promote environmental sustainability. Pesticides commonly used on conventional onion crops can have various health implications, especially when consumed in large amounts over time. Studies have linked pesticide exposure to a range of health issues, including hormonal disruptions, neurological problems, and even an increased risk of certain cancers. The residues from these chemicals can remain on and in the onions despite washing and peeling. The benefits of organic onions are particularly notable when onions are consumed raw, such as in salads or as garnishes. In these cases, cooking isn't available to potentially reduce pesticide levels, making the choice of organic even more crucial. By opting for organic onions, you can enjoy the full health benefits of onions without the added concern of pesticide residues. This choice supports not only personal health but also environmentally responsible farming practices. Number 10. Chopping onions in advance. Chopping onions in advance and storing them for later use can lead to a decrease in their nutritional value and pose health risks due to bacterial growth. When onions are cut, their cell walls are broken, exposing their nutrients to air and environmental factors. This exposure initiates a process of oxidation where essential nutrients, particularly vitamin C and certain phytochemicals, begin to degrade. The longer chopped onions are exposed to air, the more significant the nutrient loss. Moreover, the moist, nutrient-rich environment of freshly cut onions provides an ideal breeding ground for bacteria. If these pre-chopped onions are left at room temperature or even improperly stored in the refrigerator, they can quickly become contaminated. Common pathogens like Salmonella and E. coli can thrive in this environment, increasing the risk of foodborne illnesses. To maintain both the nutritional integrity and safety of onions, it is best to chop them right before they are needed in your cooking. This practice ensures that the onions retain their maximum flavor, nutritional benefits, and safety. If you must chop onions in advance, store them in an airtight container in the refrigerator and use them within a day to minimize nutrient loss and bacterial growth. Number 11. Disregarding country of origin. Disregarding the country of origin of onions can be problematic, especially given the varying regulatory standards for pesticides and agricultural practices across different countries. Many countries have different thresholds for pesticide usage and residues allowed on crops, including onions. In some cases, imported onions might come from regions where regulatory standards are less stringent than those in your own country. This can lead to higher levels of pesticide residues on the onions, posing health risks to consumers. Furthermore, the long transportation required for imported onions not only increases their carbon footprint, but can also affect their freshness and nutritional value. The longer onions are stored and transported, the more likely they are to lose some of their nutritional content and flavor. To mitigate these issues, it's beneficial to check the origin of onions when shopping. Preferably, opt for locally grown onions whenever available. Local produce is likely subject to more rigorous and familiar agricultural standards, and supporting local farmers helps reduce environmental impact. Additionally, local onions are often fresher, as they are not subjected to extended periods of transport and storage, ensuring better flavor and nutritional value. Number 12. Using a dull knife. Using a dull knife to cut onions can significantly compromise their quality and shelf life. A dull blade requires more force to cut through the onion, which can crush rather than cleanly slice through the cells of the onion. This excessive tearing disrupts the onion's cell structure extensively, causing it to release more juices and enzymes. These enzymes react with the air and accelerate the breakdown of the onion's remaining cell structures. This damage not only affects the onion's texture and flavor, but also leads to quicker spoilage. The broken cells make the onion more susceptible to bacterial growth and oxidation, both of which contribute to faster deterioration. You may notice that onions cut with a dull knife will often appear mushier and spoil faster compared to those cut with a sharp knife. To ensure that your onions maintain their integrity, flavor, and longevity, always use a sharp knife. A sharp knife makes cleaner cuts, minimizing damage to the cells and reducing the release of enzymes. This not only helps in preserving the onion's shelf life, but also results in less irritation to your eyes, as fewer enzymes mean less synpropanethiol oxide, the compound responsible for making you tear up. Number 13. Ignoring proper ventilation while cooking. Cooking onions without proper ventilation in your kitchen can lead to uncomfortable and irritating consequences. Onions contain sulfur compounds, which are released into the air when they are cut or cooked. These compounds undergo chemical reactions when heated, forming synpropanethiol oxide, the volatile compound that causes eye irritation. This is why you might find yourself tearing up more when cooking onions in a poorly ventilated space. The irritating gases are concentrated and linger longer in the air without adequate airflow to disperse them. In addition to causing eye irritation, these sulfur compounds can also permeate the kitchen and adjacent areas, leaving a strong, lingering odor. This odor can be unpleasant and difficult to eliminate, particularly in enclosed spaces. Over time, the smell can absorb into fabrics and furniture, making it even more persistent. To mitigate these issues, it's essential to ensure that your kitchen is well ventilated when cooking onions. You can do this by using an exhaust fan or range hood if available, or by opening windows or doors to allow fresh air to circulate and help disperse the sulfur compounds more quickly. Proper ventilation not only reduces eye irritation and odors, but also improves the overall air quality in your cooking environment, making it more comfortable and pleasant. Number 14. Consuming onions with certain medications. Onions, particularly in large amounts, can interact with certain medications due to their natural chemical properties, posing risks that are often overlooked. One significant interaction is with blood thinners such as warfarin, Coumadin. Onions contain vitamin K, which plays a crucial role in blood clotting. While vitamin K is beneficial for health, its intake needs to be monitored when on blood-thinning medications, as it can counteract the effects of these drugs. This interaction can lead to inconsistencies in blood clotting times, making it more difficult to manage the appropriate medication dosage and potentially increasing the risk of bleeding or thrombotic events. Besides blood thinners, onions can also affect the absorption and efficacy of other medications. Their strong natural compounds might interfere with or alter the metabolism of certain drugs, impacting how quickly or effectively these medications work. For example, consuming large quantities of onions might impact medications involved in treating thyroid disorders or chemotherapy agents. Given these potential interactions, it's crucial to consult your healthcare provider if you are on medication and regularly consume onions, particularly in raw or large quantities. A healthcare professional can provide guidance tailored to your specific medications and dietary habits, helping prevent any adverse interactions and ensure your treatment's efficacy and safety. Number 15. Discarding onion peels too quickly. Discarding onion peels too quickly might be a missed opportunity to harness their nutritional benefits. Onion peels are rich in antioxidants, particularly quercetin, a powerful flavonoid known for its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. These compounds can help combat free radicals in the body, potentially reducing the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. In addition to their health benefits, onion peels can also add depth and flavor to homemade broths. When simmered in broths, the peels impart a mild, sweet flavor and enrich the liquid with their nutrients. This practice not only enhances the nutritional value of the broth, but also contributes to a more sustainable kitchen by reducing waste. To make the most of onion peels, it's important to ensure they are clean and free from dirt and pesticides. Washing the onions thoroughly before peeling and saving the outer layers is advisable. Store the peels in an airtight container in the refrigerator or freezer until you are ready to use them in your cooking. Adding these to your broths, soups, or stews can significantly boost their health properties and flavor, making it a simple yet effective way to utilize the whole onion. Today, we've peeled back the layers on the common mistakes made with onions that many of us overlook. From the risks of consuming unwashed onions laden with contaminants to the dangers of eating onions from unrefrigerated buffets, each point underscores the importance of handling onions correctly. We've also highlighted how improper storage or preparation can lead to diminished nutritional benefits and increased health risks. Remember, something as simple as using a sharp knife or ensuring proper ventilation while cooking can make a significant difference in your overall health and enjoyment of onions. If you found this video enlightening, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that subscribe button for more insightful health tips, and share this video with friends and family to spread the word about these essential onion handling practices. Your awareness can lead to healthier choices, not just for you, but for your loved ones too.